I'm a demonstration teacher. I teach moderate severe special day class at San Bernardino High School. And today I wanted to show you how I've been using Jamboard in my classroom to increase student engagement and to check for understanding, and show you how you can create your own Jamboard. So you can find Jamboard as a part of the Google Suite. If you go here to the waffle and you scroll down, it looks kind of like a music note. And this is going to have all of the Jamboards that you've created or that have also been shared with you. So I want to show you some that I've created and so far and how I've been using them. So here's one. One thing I do is I use Jamboard every day. So as soon as the students log in, they always do their attendance right here using a sticky note. I also am able to check how they're feeling that day. So they all put their name, and their names are down at the bottom, and they move them to tell me how they're feeling that day so I can get a sense of the room. Then we do some activities whole class, like this calendar. So these are usually, these all start over here. Oh, sorry about that. Let me drag that back over. So the rectangles, I start everything over here, and I call on students to go ahead and move the rectangle to show me what is the month, what is the day, what day is it today. They put the star on. So Jamboard is something, let me back up a little bit. Jamboard is something that you are able to share with your students up here. So when you share it, down here, first they're going to view it, but you can change it to where everyone with the link can edit it. Then you just click on copy link, and I paste it into the chat in our Google Meet, and then the students click on that link and they would all join me here on this Jamboard. So they're all going to be seeing this page. I tell them to go to page 3 and they can all work with this together. This is another activity that we did all together. I put these faces here, and then I asked them to put a circle over the people who looked happy. Now you can also do it, this is a collage that they found pictures of things that made them feel happy. You can also use Jamboard to check for understanding. So we read about our community signs. These were the community words that we read about. I had all of the words up on the top for the students already. So you see they were in text boxes like so. And I put all the pictures at the bottom, so the students are able to drag the words to the pictures. Now what I like about Jamboard is it's really easy to make the same page and duplicate it for someone else. So you notice it's the same thing. I just put the kid's name on the top. So this is a way for each student in my class to do their own, and I can check for understanding on who's getting it and who's having a hard time. And then here's one more activity example of what we did that day. These pictures were down here, and we're learning about our personal space and matching it to colors. So the students, one at a time, I called on them to drag one. So again, this shows you how you can use Jamboard as a whole class interactive activity. You can assign it to pages to individual students, where you can actually go and check. You just click here and you can go back and you can check how the students are doing. All to increase engagement, check for understanding. Here's another example of one that I used. Again, I always start with the attendance and how they're feeling. We always do calendar. This one, they were doing the next dollar up. We worked as a whole class again, but I called on students to tell me what the next dollar up would be. So they can use this pen tool, and they can choose a color, and they can actually write on the Jamboard. If writing is, and then there's also the eraser. If writing's difficult for them, they can also do it as a text box, like you see over here, and they can type their answer in. So those are different ways that they can then, again, everybody's seeing the same one. Students are taking turns, but they're engaged and they're increasing that participation. And then they also all did one on their own. where they got to choose what they wanted to order off the menu, and they got to practice the skill. Each student getting their own page, getting to make their own choices, and allowing me to check for their understanding. So now that I've showed you a couple Jamboards that I've used, let me show you one more. You can also create a whole Jamboard for just one student. So this Jamboard has only been shared with Caleb. And so when personally I meet with my students one-on-one, this allows me to put in, and I almost use it just like a whiteboard that Caleb and I are able to write on together. So here I put in some cars, and we were working on addition. So we were able to, I can copy and paste the cars as many times as I need. And so we were able to create a 3 plus 2, and I was asking him to show me the addition problem and the subtraction problem. So this is an example of one Jamboard that is only shared with one student. Every page is his work, and we're going through it together. What's nice is I can also come back to this same Jamboard on several different days. So I came back, here's another day that we worked on it, and then just today we're working on double digits. So I can keep going back to his Jamboard, and we can just keep adding more and more pages to it. I'm also able to document how much help he needed. So in my classroom, we do a prompt system. So this one he needed a lot of help. This one he didn't need as much help. He was more independent. But if it's a Jamboard for an individual student, you could put 80% accuracy, or you can put whatever notes you want on here, and you can refer back to it later for data collection. All right, so now that I showed you some Jamboards I've made, how do you make your own Jamboard? All you're going to do is, again, once you're in the Jamboard page, you're going to click on this plus sign. And that's going to create your very own Jamboard. Up here, you can give it a name. So I might do this, just going to call this a sample. Okay, so you can change the name of the Jamboard up there on the upper left-hand corner. Now I'm going to show you the different tools within Jamboard. Okay, so you can change the background if you want. If you want a blue background, or you want maybe grids, maybe you're doing some math and you want to be able to use a grid for maybe making a graph or something like that. So you can change the background if you'd like. I usually use the clear one. Now the different tools that we have here up at the top, this is your pen. You can change how thick you want your pen. So you have a pen, you have a marker, you have a highlighter, and you have a brush. You can also choose these colors. There are just 6 basic colors that you're going to be working in, but you can choose whatever color you want, and then you can draw on the Jamboard. So the students could draw, they could write their answers, and so that's the pen. Underneath there's the eraser, so you can erase anything on the Jamboard. If you wanted to start completely over, you could also go up here and hit clear frame, and that will get rid of everything. Okay. There's the arrow. The arrow works if you already have something on your page. I'll show you that in a second. This is the sticky note. So again, the sticky note, they can choose from their colors, and they can just type on here. They could type their answer to a question. So maybe they read a story, and they're gonna type the main problem in the story was, and then they type their answer. They hit save, and as soon as they hit save, that sticky note's going to go up here. Now they can do another sticky note right away, or they just hit cancel. Okay, so their sticky note then gets added to the page. If you're on the arrow, then you can also move that sticky note around. You can also make the sticky note larger or smaller. So that's how you add a sticky note. And again, when you teach your students, they're going to have this same toolbar here. Okay, so that is the sticky note. There's also a way to add images. So if you're creating a Jamboard and you want specific pictures, you could save those pictures to your desktop first, and you could upload them here. So I could put in this picture right here for my desktop. And there's a picture. So for instance, maybe we were going to talk about what are you thankful for. So I might put this in the middle, Happy Thanksgiving. And then the students go in and they make theirs and they type, I am thankful for my family. And as they save it and it gets added to here, you can move those sticky notes around and make a collage of what everybody's thankful for. You could also, I'm going to delete those, you could also get pictures from the Google image search. So maybe I want to put in, maybe I'm going to type in Thanksgiving. I'm going to find my picture this way. What I like about this is you can choose the color scheme you want. So if I want something that's more purple based, I can change it. And look, I actually find images that are all in the purple family. So you can search for photos based on color, or if you click the first one, which is the default, it's just all the colors. Okay, and again, you just click on it, hit select, and it's going to put that picture in there for you, and you can resize it as long as you're on the arrow. You can also import pictures from Google Drive. So if you have something already in your Google Drive, here student was working on the directions for making mac and cheese. You have a picture from Google Drive and you can insert it. Okay, so those are the different ways that you can insert pictures. And then you just go back here so you can see it. You can also, if you have photos on your desktop or on your computer, you can also import from photos. So that's the little mountain one, that's the add image tool. There's also a shape tool. So if you click here and you kind of click over on the little arrow next to it, you can choose from a few basic shapes. Okay, so then you can draw your shapes. You can change the color of this shape up here. This is the fill color, so you can make it blue, yellow. You can also do the line color, so I can make a green line. You can make it transparent, so it's see-through again. So let me show you an example of what I would do there. So let's say I had a picture here. Let's do a Google image search. And let's say I put a car, and I'm going to put a red car. And then I'm going to put an image of a blue car. And when I share this with my students, because you can create these Jamboards ahead of time, so then when I share it with my students, I might say, okay, I want you guys to put a circle over the blue car. Maybe we're working on colors. And I say, please circle the blue car. So I could actually have a circle ready for them, and instead of it being white or whatever, I can make it transparent. That way, when they move it, you still see the car underneath, behind it. Okay, so that's just one reason you might want to make something transparent. Let's clear the frame there. So those are your shapes. Down here, you have your text box. So you're going to put the text box in. It's going to default to this. So you might type, I am thankful for. And maybe this is your prompt. If you want to make it bigger, you just click on the corner and it will make it bigger. The side will just stretch it out. So just so you know, but then I can make it bigger like that. So I could put the prompt at the top and ask the students when I share it with them. Now they're going to maybe put a sticky note or a text box and they're going to write their answer to this prompt. Okay. There is a laser. So if you wanted to point, that's going to let it go away. So it's like a laser. So if I had something here, let's go back. Let's put that blue car again. And let's go put the red car in there again. Okay, so the laser, if I want to draw their attention, I want you guys to look right here at the screen, and they're going to see that red line going around what I'm pointing to. So I may just draw, okay, look right here at the blue car. So you can use that to draw their attention to what you want them to look at. Because while they're here, they may not be seeing your screen, they're just seeing this. So it allows you, like I said, to draw their attention to what you want them to focus on. So those are all the tools within Jamboard. Again, to share it, you're going to go over here to the blue share button. You're going to want to go down here because right now it's restricted. Only people added can open the link. And if you have a lot of students in your class, you're not going to want to add them individually. So what I do is I change it to anyone in the district can view it, or you can change it to anyone with the link. Okay, and then over here, you can either let them only view it or you can let them edit it. So you let them edit it, and then you just copy this link and you can paste it in the chat or in the Google Classroom, and then they'll be able to get to this Jamboard. Now, one thing I want to suggest to you is when you are done with class, I highly recommend going back in here and changing it back to view. That allows the students to go and refer back to the Jamboard, but they can't add anything afterwards. It reduces the chance of someone going in and maybe adding something inappropriate, because remember, this has now been shared with your students. They're going to be able to see this Jamboard in their Jam folder. So if they were to go to here, remember this is your Jamboard. This is the Jamboard icon. So all of the students would now see it in their own Jamboard, and you don't want someone going in and adding inappropriate things on the Jamboard after the fact, and you don't notice it and the other students see it. So that's just one tip. I would always go back and change it to view only. Always change it back to view only when you're done. Okay? Well, I hope that was helpful. I hope you can find ways to introduce Jamboard into your Google Classroom and your distance learning. I have really found it to be a game changer. My students are much more engaged. It gives them things to do so they can participate and they're not just listening to me talk at them. It also allows me to check for understanding. By giving each student their own board, I can make sure I know how every student's doing, not just how one student is doing. Maybe the students who are participating more, well, what about those kids who are awful quiet? This gives them a way to participate and show you what they're learning.